Let's try this again. Good morning, everybody. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you're on the lifeboat. You know what? I didn't hit go live. It's such an easy thing to screw up because of how it's set up. If you have an intro that you play and you pop it so I'm sitting and talking to you guys for about 2 minutes, telling you about that rank night's sleep that I had last night. Fell asleep super early. Like I laid down and I was out. And then
I had some nice side banter too. It's a bummer.
Yeah. A little side banter going. So anyway, my niece is going to have a baby. Let me rephrase that. My niece is having a baby. As we speak, she has gone into labor, and this means really late nights and road trips. And my family is packing up and heading to Phoenix to be there for the birth. I am a little less important at these kind of events. So my brother's the same way. We're extra baggage. We're not needed. So we're
kind of like pets when it comes to things like that.
It's
just make sure you have enough food and just take off when we're back.
You know how every family has a black sheep? We really have two. No, I'm kidding. The reason that we're not there is because it's just we're not needed, but we're pretty excited about it. So last night I lay down probably at about 8. Like I laid down really early last night, maybe 8 or 9, and then I got a text from a friend of a friend, and it was one of those things that I don't know. It stressed me out a little, and I laid down and I went to sleep. And I woke up to use the men's room, and then that was a wrap. I never got back to sleep. And this whole you guys are all on a different time zone than me now is screwing me up in such a big way I can't explain it. Let me tell you just how bad it is. Snot face, good to see you this morning. Let me tell you how bad it is. So it's confusing as snot because one of my devices didn't switch over. Every other device I have has. So if I'm screwing around with my iPad thinks it's California time, and I'll be looking down at that thinking, oh man, I got to get rolling. Yesterday I came running in here, sliding sideways like somebody from the French Open, and came running into the room. And Johnny's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "I got 8 minutes. I don't know what I was thinking." He's like, "You got 1 hour and 8 minutes." And you picture a couch to the side with Johnny kicking back in the background. Boy, you nailed that. See that thumb? That's a couch that runs the length of the room, and it's really kind of stylish. It's a retro couch. It's something that I bought that was supposed to look old, and I think it does. I think it's pretty slick. It's got this 1970s Mad Men kind of thing going on.
The legs make it.
The legs jut back at an angle like that. It's really kind of an odd ride. Sadly, everybody who sees it the first time says, "Hey man, did you put those legs going backwards?" I'm so tired of hearing that from people. I follow the damn instructions. Anyway, so I didn't sleep very well last night. Johnny didn't sleep very well last night. Mama Scoville is smoking on the next train going to Phoenix, I believe, is the city that they're heading to. And we know that, the birth is a big deal, but it's just a couch. It's just a way to get to White Castle. And we're not fooled by any of that. I do the same kind of stuff. If I can couch anything to make it look like I got to do something near Phoenix so that I can go to White Castle, I do it.
We could make a White Castle run and claim it's for the baby. Nobody would know.
Oh, they would know. If you and I went there, they'd be like, "How many burgers did you eat?"
See the baby first.
I wouldn't know. Yeah. Because we're adults, and they would expect it. They really would. They really would. Hold on. Hey, Stig, good to see you. Blessings to all from North Jersey. So yeah, is it a hump night? I was watching your show.
Jersey, what is it?
Oh, don't do it. You're better than that. It's low-hanging fruit. You're better than that.
I only do that because I have so many friends that I love that are from Jersey. It's just such a
I have a lot of friends.
Such a friend joke. I only typically drop that.
Well, and we started doing it to the cat from Patterson. I think we were probably about, well, you were older than I was, but I was really young when he showed up. Old Dick. How old were we when that cat showed up? We were pretty young. We did have a lot of friends from Jersey. Tammy C, good to see you. Balake, glad that you're here. Bruce, Donna, Annette, who's going to White Castle? Tommy and Johnny are going to White Castle. We already filmed one there, I think, didn't we?
We didn't film. Okay, we were there and didn't film.
Boy, you had a bit of an edge to your voice.
What a White Castle, dude! It's like
You hear how ugly that was?
It's not like it's in a different state. It's just on the other side.
Holy hell! I wish I could play that back. I don't have the ability to do that, but you could hear that crowd, like the veins in his. The cords in his neck were sticking out. Good God, dude! Content creator or what? We were there and didn't film. His head turned around backwards and green and green pea soup looking stuff just fired out of his mouth. You're not right. Beauty for Good Net. Sharon, Beauty for Good Net. You know what? I saw Sharon Beauregard. I swear to you, when I read that, that's what I saw. The last name just
I filled it for you.
You know what? Cemetery, I think it's going to get better, bro. I really do. Kristen, good to see you from Denmark. Shut right up. How cool is that?
Great friends in Denmark.
Johnny Scoville's claiming he's got some great friends from Denmark.
I do.
Here's the thing, though. I've known the guy 53 years. I don't know anybody that likes him. There's a Crystals right beside my house. That's basically my area's response to White Castles. I've had Crystals.
You know what?
Crystals make a great slider. There's nothing wrong with that.
White Castles,
Crystals is great. They make really good sliders. I've never had an issue with that. I've heard the people debate. No, they're really similar, man. It's definitely a knockoff. You know, what I always found genius. I remember my grandfather when I was a really young kid. We were at White Castle, and my uncles were calling it monkey meat. That they didn't think it was made from. And this is my first exposure to White Castle. I'm a little kid. And I remember being freaked out because the whole ride over, they kept talking about how the stuff can't be good for you. It's probably killing you, but it's fantastic. And we're going to go order 40 of them. And as a little kid, I remember being intimidated by the everything they said about it. And my grandfather, when we got there, he took the top off the bun and he said, "Do you see those 6 holes? Because if you've ever eaten a White Castle burger, you take the top off. Is it 5 holes?
Yeah, looks like a dice.
Johnny says it's
4, 1,
5.
and 4.
Okay. Yeah, 4, 1, and 4. Okay. Well, it's 4, 1, and 4.
2, 1, and 2.
That makes a heck of a lot more sense, man. So what you're saying is,
it looks like a die. That's exactly what it is.
he's saying it kind of looks like that.
No, kind of.
You know what? Get some coffee. What's up with you this morning, man? Switch to decaf.
I didn't sleep so good.
No, I get that. Not very nice. LeBron, good to see you. Yeah, you're just snippy, and now I don't even want to talk to you anymore. My grandfather said, "Do you know why those are there?" And I said, "No, I don't." And he said, "Because they take all of the meat that they take out of the middle and they make more patties with it, and it makes them a lot more money." And I said, "Okay, like that makes sense." He goes, "And then they call them flavor reservers or whatever and fill them with tiny onions, but it's just them getting over on you." And I thought, that's pretty slick. And then I ate one. And it was life-changing.
Wasn't it though?
I'm telling you, man. I saw somebody.
Everybody remembers the first.
I saw somebody. You know what? This show is going to hell in a handbasket. See what happens. It's going to be the burger show, but I don't care anymore. Somebody put up Whataburger. Whataburger is excellent.
That's a tasty burger.
That's an excellent hamburger, and I think that Whataburger, to me, okay. Let me do it this way instead. If you were to compare Whataburger to any other chain, which one would you compare it to? Like when she talked about comparing that to White Castle, is there anything you'd compare to Whataburger? And let me make it a little easier. Whataburger uses fresh ingredients that get delivered every single day. Do you know anyone else that does
Almost
that?
like 5 Guys just trying to church up a
I think it's InNOut Burger. They're so damn similar to me. It's incredible. They honestly, to me, they taste very similar.
Fuddrucker.
Fuddruckers is the one with that massive damn bar so that you can make
Fuddruckers is
you
pretty
just
cool.
wanted to say the name
I
Fuddruckers.
just so did.
You know what, people?
I
That's
was
my
hoping
brother,
this morning
man.
when
He wanted to work the
When I was
name.
getting my first cup of coffee this morning, I was hoping we could work in Fuddruckers somehow.
There's not a doubt in my mind that that's exactly what happened. You're a weird dude, man. But I know you just wanted. You know why you wanted to say it? So we lived in a place where they had Fuddruckers. If you've never been to one, you go there, you get your burger, and then they've got like a toppings bar for the burger that's 6.5 miles long. There's nothing on planet Earth that is
Stuff
not
you've never dreamed of.
for
sticking on a
real.
burger.
Everything on Earth is in this little toppings bar. You want to put yellow cake uranium on top of your cheeseburger?
There's some yellow cake there.
You're in luck. They probably have it on the
Limited.
right. It's not gonna be a lot of it. You would have to eat like 700 burgers to be able to make a decent weapon. Oh my goodness! Did you hear that, dude?
I did.
I gulped coffee on a worldwide live feed. I literally gulped it. I'm so sorry. I'm going to tighten up my game.
Catch your snap.
No, it's just a barbecue sauce. No monkeys involved. You could be right.
I gotta tell you something.
I don't care,
I'll take
though.
some heat for this. I don't care if it's monkey.
Yeah, I
it's
was
my cat burger. They're so tasty.
Yeah, I would really struggle. Oh my gosh, did you see this?
No,
Annette, you can come to my house anytime you want. See, Seven Sun says, Whataburger's a poor man's InNOut. I kind of agree with that a little bit. You know what I like?
Their fries are 10 times better.
Oh, no question. I'm sorry, InNOut Fries. If you don't get them animal style, you can't even consume them.
Even if you get them animal style, you know you're only doing it to make them edible. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
there's no question.
Every time I go
question.
there, I ask somebody, how can you make the best burger and the worst fries in the same building? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh, but it does. I'll tell you why. The reason that InNOut Fries suck as bad as they do is because they got this massive thing on the wall. They take a potato, one of those russet
As raw
long,
as it gets, man.
and they put it in there and go, huh, right?
It's cooking
And
10 seconds later.
And 4 seconds later, that thing's cooking. So what you're getting is a real
potato.
And you know that we used to. So when you're in the federal prison system, this is what the inmates theorize, and it's probably BS, but it might not be. Every once in a while in the kitchen, we would get flooded with a name brand product, and it would last 3 months or something. Like we got Red Robin when I was in Tucson's the FCI in Tucson. We got pork steaks. They were like probably that big and about that thick, and they said on this little package was Red Robin. So I was stealing these things as fast as I could get them out of the kitchen, right? I mean, I'm using saran wrap like the stuff we got here and putting them on the inside of my thighs, my legs. I'm walking out like the Michelin Man, right? And I'm going back because Joe Waverly, who was a pretty well-known gangster, and at one time was rumored to be the head of a Italian family.
They were just friends.
They were. Yeah, it was a social club. It was nothing like that. But they sure tried to make it out that way. I have no idea why I was talking about Joe. Help me out. Where was I going with that? I was in Tucson. Why the hell did I even bring it?
The things are.
Oh yeah. So this stuff was coming in from well done. This stuff was coming in from Red Robin, and Joe happened to love them. They were already cooked, so you could take these things, and all you needed was a bowl, and you fill it with hot water, and you drop this thing in there in its thick plastic deal, and you just sort of boil it in there for a few minutes, and then you would take it out, and you'd have pork steak. It's the greatest crap in the world. It really was. But all the inmates would say, why, how is it that we're ending up with stuff that says Red Robin on it? Well, for the entire time I was at that yard, our French fries were McDonald's. They came out of a box that said McDonald's on them, on the packaging, everything we would have them stacked floor to ceiling in the back. So we were either buying these puppies directly from McDonald's, or the theory is that when the government would get somebody for tax evasion or whatever, and they would go in and seize everything, if it was edible, they would shoot the stuff over to the Fed system. And that actually makes a hell of a lot of sense to me. But I would cook McDonald's French fries every single day in there. And I'll tell you something, McDonald's French fries are superior to everything on the planet. But I promise you it's because there's a lot less potato and a lot more, chemical, whatever. McDonald's is the most incredible company in the world because if you go to Russia or you go to anywhere and you walk in and order a burger, it's 99 out of 100 times you're going to get the exact same thing everywhere you go. They really, really are fantastic at putting out a mediocre product, but doing it everywhere exactly the same way. I'm not a big McDonald's guy. I'm really not. I'm not a big Five Guys guy either. We had it in Nevada when I was
downhill, wicked bad.
Wicked bad.
I'm telling you. Back in the day, you get fries. They give you a garbage bag full.
Yeah.
Now you get fries for $2, and it's fries for $2. It used to be fries for $40.
They also used to they had a challenge, right, at the Five Guys in Nevada, that if you went in and you ate this thing, you got your picture on the wall and you got a T-shirt and a bunch of other stuff. And I remember going in and eating one of these, and I finished it. And I'll be honest with you, it is a stinking challenge. Like I drove off with my friend, and we were high-fiving and everything else. And I got 2 minutes away from the place and went, "You need to pull over, like now." And we'll be graphic here because we're all friends, and I vomit constantly on the lifeboat anyway. It's one of those dry ones, kind of just look like the Fuzzy Pumper Barber Shop. If you're all familiar with the old Fuzzy Pumper Barber Shop from Play-Doh, it just sort of came out in this. It was awful. It really was. It was god awful. But that was one of those burgers that they put on there, like I think it was a half a dozen eggs. Like they stacked this thing, and it's like that big. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I'm not a fan. When I was out on bank robbery, when I was living with my ex-wife, did you catch that? No longer married. Ex-wife. I had somebody accuse me the other day of still being married. Cracked me up. But not only am I divorced, I've been divorced for a really, really long time. But that's what these people do. Anyway, you know what? I'm not going to talk about her anyway. I really, really used to enjoy Laffy Taffy. There's a non sequitur in there that is just like that. I love you, Tommy. That's where we. Was that the I had a red bike once, or did I miss an earlier comment? Pork steak would be koteletter in Danish. See, here's the problem with that, Kirsten, is that I've got to take your word for it, right? Because I don't really know you. And for all I know, you're setting me up to say something foul at a later date. Like I'm going to go into some, yeah.
See, that's a savvy YouTuber. Right
I'm
there.
telling you, right?
So yeah, some miles under the edge.
You're damn right. Because I'll go into a restaurant and I'll walk in and say something and it'll sound beautiful and whatever. And in all actuality, I will have said to the waitress, "Can you bring me to your house? I want a shot at your grandmother," right? Or something really rank that you came up with. So I'm not gonna.
That's because we were watching those videos last night of the YouTubers who got stung.
Oh,
that's why it was fresh in your mind, man.
Oh, I wish you hadn't brought that up.
Come on, it's pretty funny.
If you're a content creator, especially if you work without a net, right?
Easy.
Honestly. Sometimes you'll get put in a situation where you read a comment because it's what we do. We read comments.
People have their names, so they cause you trouble.
People sometimes have a name that when you read the first and the last name out, it takes you in a direction you don't want to go. I actually saw it happen to Johnny Scoville. It happened so bad to Johnny Scoville that I was texting him going, pull the plug.
I bailed on the live stream. It's the only time I've ever done that.
It's true.
Stream, just pitched it right there.
Peanut butter and honey is a great combination. Not sure about it on a burger, though.
Oh, it's so good. I'm not sure
about that on a burger, though. I'll give that a try. Peanut butter and honey is an excellent combo. Peanut butter and maple syrup, I think, is a bit better. Honestly, pretty big fan.
Yeah.
Pretty big fan. Yeah, I'm not a Burger King guy either. Honestly.
I'll tell you the truth about Burger King. If you get their fries, I mean, the minute they get pulled out of the thing, they're as good as any fries if you get them immediately when they're hot. Junior and I did a fry thing. We did fries from all the different fast food
no way.
The best. And if you get them when they're immediately out, Burger Kings are as good as anybody's.
Anybody's?
They're pretty
He's going to backpedal in a minute.
They're pretty good.
Pay attention. He's going to backpedal in a minute. As good as anybody's?
They're pretty good. Man.
Would you put them up against Al's?
No, but we're talking. That's Al. That's an American institution.
Back
Come
on
on, but everybody's going to backpedal against Al's.
Al's
Mama
fries.
Scoville drove 160 miles once just for a thing of Al's fries. That's a true story.
Do you know how many times I drove 160 miles just for a thing of Al's
Yeah, but
fries?
you're a lunatic. That's gay doer for you. But your mom,
that's
Scoville, to drive 160 miles for a thing of fries,
That's true.
and then turn around and go back.
They came in buckets. You would get a bucket of fries.
They were so good. Just watching them behind the kitchen was just part of that. I thought it was just such an experience.
Do you know what we need to do?
What?
I need to do a live stream. And it's going to be you guys really need to see what these fries are like live stream. And we'll raise enough cash so that we can head directly to the airport, get on an airplane, and fly to Vermont, go to Al's has got to still be there, right?
From it right now.
I'm going to tell you something, people. We're on dangerous territory right here. This is super thin ice because if Al's is gone, I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to deal with it. It's going to be, this was an institution.
What do you mean? What are you saying was? Why are you saying was? Why you got to be that way?
Yeah, you're right. That was
We're there.
bad.
Everything's good. Nothing's changed.
Gregory Smith says coat letter is pork, is a pork cutlet according to Google. Now, here's the deal, though. If you're playing the long ball, you could have Gregory in on it. You know? If you're really playing the long con, you could have Jeffrey in on it. But I'm backing away from paranoia in my life. So, all right, I'm going with this. Are we willing to accept this, Johnny? What do you think?
Go with it.
Okay, coat letter. It's okay. Go with this. It's cool. Peanut butter has bugs in it?
Here we go.
Annette, don't do that to me. What are you doing? You mean all peanut butter has bugs in it? Please, can someone tell me that she's wrong? That would be good.
Well, it goes back to when we were kids. They say that McDonald's is rat. I don't care if it's rat. They prepare it well. I don't care if there's bugs in the peanut butter. I don't, as long as there's crunchy peanut butter.
Now, that said, you're also trying to get me to eat cheese that has the little small white guys in it.
Maggots. That's a straight delicacy.
Maggots.
Stop being a sissy.
Maggots.
Stop
He wants
being
me
a
to
sissy.
He wants me to eat maggot cheese. And when I said, I think I'd prefer not to, he called me a sissy. How often do you hear somebody say sissy? Especially when you're 50, what are you, 60 years old?
That's because you're alive and I can't say anything else.
Ah, see that? The truth comes out. I know it's a different place, but this is reminding me of Al Johnson's Swedish restaurant. Anyone ever been? What? They have goats on the roof? They have goats on the roof. Good story for you. All right, true story. Snowbird, Utah. That picture you guys have seen of me doing the backflip on skis on my last hurrah. That was actually my the last time I ever did anything like that. That was the end of my my competition and all that. That was the very last day, April Fool's Day. But at Snowbird, Utah, the gentleman that owned the place, his name was Dick Bass. Dick has to have passed by now, but he had written a book called Summiting the Seven Summits or something like that. He climbed it was either the 5 or the 7 highest points on planet Earth, all without oxygen. And he didn't start climbing until he was in his 60s. So he did Everest. He did all of them. Dick Bass was a beast, a stone cold beast. But somebody from Zermatt, Switzerland, when he first bought all the property for what was to become Snowbird, he went to Zermatt, Switzerland to look at their ski setup and how their lifts were, and particularly their tram. And they became a sister city. I mean, a ski area. So if you have a pass at Zermatt, you can use it in Snowbird. And if you had a pass from Snowbird, you could use it in Zermatt. And they gifted Snowbird the very top of the Matterhorn. They cut off the top 2 feet or whatever, and it's right at the base of the mountain at Snowbird where where the tram is. They also gifted him a half a dozen goats. Mountain goats, because they were very similar to that's the climate is so similar. And he was asked to not let them into the wild, so he said he would keep them on the rooftop of one of the condo complexes up there. All of the rooftops like about the top foot or whatever is dirt on top of every building. And it's just how they build it so that ice and things don't freeze the roof. But they grow in the summer. You get a ton of stuff. So they would put the goats up there to eat it. And those goats one day were gone. They went up and those goats had managed to get off of that roof. And if you go to Little Cottonwood or Big Cottonwood Canyon now, I'll say now again because I got the Johnny Scoville. If you go now to Little or Big Cottonwood Canyon and you look up any time of year, you are going to see the mountain goats, and you're going to see them fast. They're not hard to spot. They're everywhere. From that little 6-pack gifted goats. That part of Utah is now, populated, and they're the craziest things in the world to watch. When I was with Alan Ballantyne at the Grand Canyon, we saw him there as well, sprinting up and down rocks. They got freaking hooves.
I don't get it.
They have a hard damn
don't they
cloven foot.
It should be. They don't act like it's trouble. They don't freak out at all.
I just don't understand how when you're looking at them, there's not one tumbling down at all times.
There's someone where there's a dam and it's straight up, and they climb to the top to get salt because the salt deposits it's a mineral they need.
Yeah.
When I tell you they're half a mile up, and the little kids, the little ones are right up there like it's no big deal, like they're playing.
Yeah.
One slip, it's game over. They have food for somebody that just walks up at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's just the scariest thing in the world.
And it's just a sheer damn face.
They have fingers on the end of their feet. They don't.
This Sunrise Dawn says, look at this, coming through in the pinch because, it should be easier, right, for maybe to have, but instead, Miss Sunrise Dawn comes through with, if the Al's you are referring to is in Vermont is called Al's French fries, then yes.
It is. Williston
They're
Road.
still there, according to Google. And they are on Williston Road.
You bet.
If you knew.
If you could have heard, until you've heard them, stood there and watched them behind the cooking, it's the funniest thing in the world. That's why people go.
Yeah, the show is half of it. Question, is it true that maggots come out of raw pork chop? If it's left, say what?
If you pour a little milk on a pork chop and let it thaw out, you'll have a heart attack. Don't do it.
If it's left to stand out and not in the fridge. I have an excellent idea.
Don't do it.
Let's change the subject. There will be no more picking on swine for the rest of the day.
Google it, man.
Stop.
Google it.
Hey, I will turn this boat around. Sorry. Cinnamon Girl, good to see you. Glad that you're here. I'm sorry, that's Cinnamon Girl too. I don't want to get that wrong. You know what I mean? What about fainting goats?
They're hilarious.
Funny stuff?
Oh.
Tell me about this fainting goat thing. This is not a phenomenon.
Are you serious?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll tell you a story. Remember Scotland by the Yard?
Yes.
Okay, Scotland by the Yard used to have a field of sheep in front of it. Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, I used to have that when Papa Scoville would drive me to
I have an excellent idea.
What? Is that not a story?
Rutland. You know what? People are going to bum out. I told the story too. I watched Bob Kloppenberg with an air horn take a couple hours.
Let's not tell the story.
Yeah. Okay. So, but this is a good one.
Back to
Here's a reference. Here's a reference from Jeremy Shelton showing that this dude, Jeremy Shelton says, my friend Balky used to tend to goats in his home country of Meepos. He later moved to Chicago to live with his cousin Larry. Surprised you didn't know that.
Sweet.
Yes.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Not his best work, but pretty
good stuff. Batacamus, was that your friend's last name? I'm pretty sure your friend's last name was Batacamus.
I know his brother.
Balky Batacamus, pretty sure that was his name. Yeah. And he was from Meepos. Could you tell me his favorite thing to eat? What was his favorite dish? Because if you're really a friend, like if you know this cat, because he was pretty vocal about his favorite thing to eat. Yeah. I believe his favorite.
I had a cousin once who smelled like a goat.
I believe his favorite dish was Ding Ding Makmun.
It sure was.
But you're going to have to tell me what Ding Ding Makmun was if you're really a friend, because a lot of people claim to know this cat. Tommy, I love your relationship with your brother. It's heartwarming. I have a real good one with my brother.
You should see it when he cuts the camera.
Oh, I was going to say, good Lord, is that what you're seeing? That's special effects right there, man. Tommy Bird once had a cousin who smelled like a goat. You'll love that. Yeah, you're not really catching the outtakes, right? No, this is bizarre.
We had a couple of really great outtakes yesterday.
We did have some good outtakes yesterday. No, you know what's crazy? In all honesty, what is crazy is that in all of the time that we've been on this planet, we came to fisticuffs seriously twice. In all of the time that
maybe three, at least two.
2.5. I can remember a third.
There was one in the upstairs in the house in League City, in the school.
Actually, it started upstairs and ended up downstairs, and then in the kitchen, and that was a good one. We destroyed so much crap that night.
The one in the school was the bad one. That was horrific.
That was pretty good too. We did a lot of damage that day too.
We broke a wall.
Yeah, I went through a wall on that one. We do, and both of us are people that have been in fights. We've had issues with it over the course of our lives with not settling things in the proper manner. But in all of our lives, we only swung at each other a couple of times.
That would never happen again.
No. Well, first of all, if we did it like that, we'd be dead within the first few minutes. We went to a.
That's how we bought the boxing gloves.
You know what? This is a funny story. Actually, this is a really funny story. We decided to go out and get boxing gloves. And why? Because we're not very bright. That's why. No, because it just seemed like such a cool thing. I think we were actually at a sports store buying BB guns. Again, not for any good reason. But we saw on the wall these boxing gloves, and they're not the 4-ounces that you see people fight with. They are the big ones. My sister had a Balky pull string doll. Shut up.
Nice.
Are you kidding? Okay, since I did not ever see the response, Ding Ding Mahmoud, of course, is pig snouts and saffron. And it has to be good saffron. That's the key to Ding Ding Mahmoud.
So they were the 16-ounce gloves.
They were the 16-ouncers that are like this big. They look like pillows, and we're like, man, you can't hurt somebody with this. How bad could that be? And you didn't even have to lace them. They were pull-ons.
I remember that.
They were pull-ons. All you had to do was pull these bad boys on. So we pulled them on, and we commenced to boxing. And if you've ever seen people box or fight even that don't know what they're doing, or that are brand new at it, they swing with every punch like they're trying to kill somebody, right? They're not trying to make contact or anything else. They're really trying to remove this mother lover's head, right? So we're swinging at each other like this, and it's going on for a hot minute. And we even had a conversation about it. We, what are we doing? This isn't, you need to step back and maybe jab a little bit, and we did. I stepped back and I threw the first jab, and it was nothing special at all.
That is the way to do it.
But Johnny, I think what really happened was he tried to talk me into boxing, and then he planned on Mike Tysoning in, like running in as fast as he could while I was trying to like be on the balls of my feet and just kill me. And he ran into a left jab, and you talk about going smooth unconscious. I knocked him so smooth unconscious. I take that back. He knocked himself smooth unconscious.
I woke up with such a headache. I'm like, I'm done. Let's go have a good drink or something.
Well, what scared the crap out of me is, if you're a guy, you've probably been knocked out, right? Well, maybe not in all channels, but if you're a guy on this channel, there's an excellent chance you've been knocked out, right? Because we just live stupid lives, and you fall off things, and you have car accidents, and all these stupid things that we do. So you end up at some point being knocked out or seeing somebody knocked out or whatever, right? I've had a lot of concussions. I've been knocked out a bunch, but you're not out long, right? If somebody goes out for 4 seconds or 5 seconds, that's plenty of time to be in the movies. You see a guy get knocked out and he's out for 15, 20 minutes.
Let's go to a doctor.
Yeah, you're dead. Like if you're knocked out that long, you're probably not going to come back without some assistance.
Really, it's just rebooting your computer.
It's the right where the screen goes down and then comes right back up. It's a reboot. Jeremy says exactly right. Well, Johnny rebooted his computer on my left hand. It was just this. I swear to you. I threw it out like that. I was just measuring him, and he ran right into it and went, boom. His feet came up like the cartoons. He landed right on his back. And when he came to, he was like, "Oh, my head." He's holding it with boxing gloves.
More of it.
I don't want to do this anymore. My head hurts. What the hell happened? He's like, "What did you hit me with?" I was like, "I didn't hit you with anything. You ran right into it." But it does show you that.
A brick in the gloves, like Bugs Bunny.
Like Bugs Bunny. I was going to shake it out and have a what comes out of that glove, really? There's
85 pounds of.
There's an anvil. There's a horseshoe. That's a great cartoon. Martha says, I've been knocked out. Yeah, I mean,
it's such a drag. When you come to, you know what the problem is?
Snotface says he hit the reset button.
It's when you come to, you have visual, but you can't process what it is you're seeing. So, like when I came to in the kitchen, you were slapping me around. Yeah. I thought I was in a fight.
That's what if you're a guy, I think that's the go-to. You know what I mean? Because we've all been in enough fights where you wake up and you go, oh, crap. Oh, crap. Somebody hit me.
I usually look around and see who's laughing.
First KO ski jump. I want to tell you something. There have been so many KO ski jumps. There have been so many KO. What was the first KO ski jump? I can remember your first KO ski jump. I don't think I remember my first one. But your first one, you had on a pair of head shorties.
Oh, off the lip and the big jump.
And they were wide. Yeah, they were wide before skis were wide, before anybody ever thought of doing a XX or a XXX ski. Head came out with these skis called shorts or shorties. And they were like 165 centimeter skis or 145 centimeter skis. They were very short at the time. Now that sounds long but back in the day when people skied on 200 centimeter skis, these little 140s. So Johnny was like, I'm going to do it. A daffy is when you kick your feet out like a scissor, right? And at the time, that was kind of a big thing. And a double was difficult, right? You look like you're running on air, and it's a hard thing to do. It's an easier thing to do with shorter skis. And we were on some terrain that was actually, even by my grown-up standards, it's pretty rugged terrain. It's probably, maybe a 30 or 40 degree pitch for most of it. And in some places, it's probably closer to 65 degrees. It's a pretty steep deal. And they had a very nice kicker, like perfectly built jump. And Johnny goes, I bet I can get a double daffy off that. And I was like, I don't know, man. and I was young. I was not even really a very good skier, I don't think, at that point. I was but Johnny went off and got the first one off clean as hell. And the second one looked like, but there was this double mint commercial. Do you remember this? There was a double mint commercial on TV, and the guy would stick the gum in his mouth, and a guy would go off the jump and do the most beautiful double daffy in history. I met the guy years afterwards, and it's just perfect. But he was actually not going to be landing in anything he had to worry about. So on his second one, he goes and sort of like holds that thing out for a second to just, it's that
pose.
It's the pose. And Johnny did the exact same thing, except he wasn't going to be in the air for 2 days. He was going to be in the air for a split second. And that back ski hit the ground on the way back in, and he caught it. And he went down this way and went on his face like the cartoons. Just whap. And to add insult to injury, these were in the days of the safety strap. Because if your ski came off, you didn't want it to be in the parking lot across the street, or kill somebody. And it can. So they used to have this strap that would go around your leg to keep the ski attached to you. Then a guy by the name of Miller came out with a system where there were two brakes that would come up when your boot went on them. And when you would pop out of the ski, those brakes would come down and they would keep the ski from sliding away in theory. But this was pre-Miller brake days. So when Johnny came out of the and landed flat on his face, he now had two skis, 140 centimeters long, that weighed about 5 pounds each, that were attached to him. And they did the Ginsu knife routine. It honestly looked like to watch. It was unpleasant. Yeah, it looked the skis.
Julian me.
Yeah, the skis did a number like he was at that. What's the name of that Japanese restaurant where the guys go and start doing those numbers? Benihana's. And one got him this way, right across the face, and the other one got him this way, and he was gone. Like when I walked up to him, he did this one, got up and looked around and went, what just happened? I'm like, you got a cut right here. You got a mark on your face. But that's the first time I remember you getting knocked out from skiing. And then the better one, I already told the story on here, the day that you decided to, he just took, I'm not exaggerating. I promise you I'm not exaggerating. He was going 55 or 60. You had on what, 215s?
206.
206s. Big, long, just runners, low profile tips. Like we were there to do downhill runs. This wasn't in the days of skiing moguls and all that. We were there to just do downhill runs. And Johnny took a downhill run into a jump that went straight up like this and should come straight down. So you just go up. It's perfect. It's like a coming out of a half pipe where you come and land straight down on what you just came off of. And sadly, he just overshot that by 25 feet and landed flat in the middle. I mean, straight. You cannot land on anything flat, right? It's just really bad for your back. I'm sure you did all.
Didn't even move.
No,
they stayed right where they were.
No, the skis stayed where they were, like they had been cartooned into the ground, and his head put a hole in the snow right between the two skis. But you were concussed by that.
Oh, that was. I came to, and I got the ridicule from everybody on the chair. That was the worst part. I'm like dying, and they're like mocking me.
Yeah, I remember that day like it was yesterday. And you know what? That's a hump place to get mocked, right? Because you basically, the lift just came up and plateaued, and now it's not going to plateau again until the mid run. So they can mock you for 400 yards. They can keep screaming down at you forever. Yeah, that was ugly. My worst was in a half pipe.
Terrible things happen to happen.
Bar none.
At the base.
I promise you that probably the vast majority of the damage that I did to my brain, I did on one concussion, and it was off of it was a super pipe, and there was a very famous photographer that was taking photos, and we were putting on clothing for a photo shoot, right? So if you look in Ski Magazine and it says skier is wearing such and such, and right, that could be a super famous person, but they're not going to say the person's name because he's probably wearing clothing that is other than the clothing he's sponsored by. So he might be out there decked out in Nike stuff or whatever, and he's a North Face guy. The photographer pays him because the photo shoot is for Nike or whatever, right? So that's kind of how you end up sometimes with skiers taking photo shoots in clothing and stuff that they don't belong in. I got called up there to do a photo shoot in a super pipe, and he was like, I just want you to get as far out of the pipe as you can. And they have a thing up there that, a pole that tells you how high it is, so that you get the people in the stands can get an idea of how high the amplitude is. And it's people go 50 feet out, it gets just ridiculous. But I'm just farting around for this photo shoot. And when I was coming back down in, I landed perfectly. I did everything right. I was posing for the camera, and I caught my head on the top of the pipe all the way down.
Oh,
and
it didn't take it off.
It did. It was surgically reattached on the in the half pipe at the time. No, I hit my head, and it did this one like it was filmed, right? They were filming, so no, it just went real quick this way, and it was over. Like yeah. Yep. Did not come back from that one. I didn't pass go. I didn't get $200. There was no, I didn't even, when I came to, I was in the ambulance. I was in the back of the ambulance when I came to, and I did not have an idea what was going on.
There's nothing worse than waking up in one of those.
In the woo-woo.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Woo-woo.
Just the confusion. Confusion, like, oh, man.
I remember being really happy when he told me that I got knocked out in a half pipe.
Because you were sure if it was a car accident.
Wasn't sure if it was a car wreck. Wasn't sure if there were going to be some police involved. You know what I mean? I woke up and I was in an ambulance. At that point in my life, I did a lot of drugs. So when the guy was like, relax, you were skiing, I was like, oh my God. Right. And I could probably milk this for some pain meds, because that was always on the mind. Right. I'm going to be seeing a doctor that I haven't seen before. There's an excellent chance I could work this guy. I've got one of those damn things in my leg.
I found one last night back here. How the hell did that happen?
Yeah, well, I don't know, but This sucks. Everything in this state has the potential to stick into you and then never come back out.
What it is nature is always trying to reclaim what we've stolen from it. They're just working double time in this state, and they have better weapons.
I want to name my puppies Rolex and Timex so I can have watchdogs. Nice.
Not shabby.
Nice.
Good,
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
It was almost Seven Son is like angry.
Seven Son's probably not happy that you got that one, but
right. Of course, he was going for the wicked, like truthy comments. Like,
that's right. He's
gone to
some
wisdom.
Did you say truthy?
Truthy.
I'm not sure that's the right use of the term truthy.
Yeah.
See what you did there, man?
Yeah.
Oh, people. So yeah, you know what? We're going to be oh, did you see that? Oh, squirrel's doing the big cat stretch. Spines, cacti, I believe, technically have spines. That's why you gotta love Tommy. He's not gonna leave me hanging. Yeah, spines. I have a spine in my leg.
I don't want to talk about it, man. I really don't. That's the only part about this state that
Do you know the things that we're doing to try to get these damn things out? Is R2D2 wearing a dunce cap back there? What's the yellow cone on his head?
Lady J, that's an awesome.
When I put that on there, I said to my brother, Johnny Scoville, how long do you think it's going to take before somebody says, why is R2D2 wearing a dunce cap?
And that was literally less than 24 hours ago.
And that was less than 24 hours ago. See, he's been back there with the dunce cap, but I moved him over a little bit. Tucson is beautiful. I fell in love with it when I visited 30 years ago, but I was terrified of all those prickly things you're talking about.
Imagine doing a lawn care gig here. I'd rather die. No kidding.
Well, I mean, we got what, like an acre and a third or an acre and a half or something that we need to clean. Ooh, do me a favor, grab me that. Forgot what I was wearing.
Grab what?
The dunce cap. Yeah, I'm not really dressed to go get that. I'm glad that I didn't. All right, this is not technically a dunce cap. This was a souvenir from the protest that we did at the Celebrity Center. This was for bad mouthing Scientology.
It's your cult exposure.
Yeah, it's a cult exposure. It's exactly what it is. We were yelling some. I was yelling, of course, really classy, highbrow insults at the Church of Scientology. But I had Laura to have my back. She was going the other direction. And giving him some really good, heartfelt, and trust me, she's got the right. R2 has been punished for Alderon reasons.
Oh my God, that is so good. Who said that? Is that
Take
Kevin
a
Sheldon?
guess. Yeah,
that's such a good line.
He has been punished.
Alderon reasons. Just stop it.
Yeah,
call me
for Alderon reasons. That's just
truth.
Call me. Well, yeah. We drove up to the Grand Canyon. Amazing drive. You know what? The Grand Canyon is beautiful. If you do not get an opportunity, I mean, if you've never been there, you should make an opportunity. Is there something wrong, Johnny Scoville?
No, hope we're good.
Johnny's doing the wrap this thing up. Here's what's going on. I have a doctor's appointment, and they want me there 30 minutes before the appointment starts, which you think about it, it's pretty damn early. You know what I mean?
Well,
but
here's the deal. It's not like you're getting, your nails done. This is kind of a big deal.
My mom always had a big cactus right beside the stairwell. I got poked all the freaking time. It wasn't until later that I realized she put it there to keep me from running up and down. Wow. That's funny as hell.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. Where is the exit sign? Boy, it's funny, isn't it? How often everybody here is just in sync. Conversations that Johnny and I have every day.
Yeah,
Right before we went live today, actually, is when we had it. And yesterday we talked about it much yesterday because
yesterday was the conversation. Today was just the right.
Because it's a little stark back there, and we were talking about that it needs color, and I said we had color, but I threw that sign out. If I told you why, you'd go, that doesn't make any sense, Tommy.
So don't.
So I won't tell you.
Rutland.
So I won't tell you because it doesn't make any sense. Basically, I threw it out because I didn't have any other. Are you talking about Mackinac Island? No, but CK might be. Annette says, wrap it up, bro.
Gee, I'll tell you what.
What did you actually hear him say that? Did you say that audibly?
I texted me.
Ah, there you go. Yes, it is time that I wrap this up. So I need to do this because the doctor I'm going to today is actually, it's right on subject, right? It's right on what we were talking about. I'm going to see a doctor today about my concussion, my concussed dome piece. That's what this one's about. But I'm gonna make a prediction. Pain.
If anything, this show is a perfect example of how this 24-hour one is going to go off the rails.
This is an excellent example of how over the course of 24 hours, there's just no telling the directions that we may end up. But we're going to do a 24-hour live feed. And
there are no nets in place, but there are safe words in place.
Yes, we have a couple safe words. This starts
Friday.
Can't do it Friday. I got a show I got to do Friday. This may start today. Be on the lookout, people. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going, but it could be today. It could be today. Kathy says, squirrel. Tommy, bye, friends. Hey, what is that? What was that? Did you see that, people? What was that right here? Huh?
That was the suspicious older brother.
That was the crypt keeper. That's what it was. Look at that. Wait. Hey, I swear it. Remember that? Kids in the Alrighty, everybody. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville. I know I'm cutting her off 9 minutes early, but I got to go see a doctor. This is not just a cat in a basket. This is the greatest tortie in North America. Say hello, squirrel. Who's a good kitty? Yeah. All right, everyone. We'll see you either tonight at 5 or maybe on a 24-hour live feed coming your way soon. It's the I'm on my way to Al's Fries 24-hour live stream. We'll see you shortly, people.